Y'all having a good time? Saturday afternoon, I got a big one. I want to start with a question. Who are we without community, without belonging, without team? That common ground of commiserating over struggle and celebrating victory. These past few years have distilled a lot for us. While design is a solitary act, it is made better with camaraderie, with advice, with critique, which sometimes sounds like critique, y'all know why, and collective critical thinking. It makes the work better, but more important, it makes us better. I got a word, Bobby. I'm proud to introduce some new friends, Erika and Rechung, and you're gonna love them. Amid intense challenges in Hawaii, they've built a hyper-local community for creatives called OurSpace. It's the intersection of co-working and making using state-of-the-art technologies. It is a workspace for creatives to make their ideas tactile, tangible, and physical. Rechung was born and raised in Hawaii and has a degree in finance. He has more than 10 years of experience leading creative, entrepreneurial spaces in Hawaii. Rechung is passionately working towards building a resilient and sustainable future for his island. My favorite thing about Rechung is that he thinks completely outside the box, as you will soon hear. Erika does everything. She's a designer, a strategist, a consultant, a visual storyteller, and more. I'm going to slide in there that she went to Pratt just like me. Shout out to Pratt. She is a communication designer that has worked with prominent places like IDEO, Jazz at Lincoln Center, New York Times, so many more. Erika's earned recognition from AIGA, the Art Directors Club, and so many more. After living in many places, Erika went to Hawaii, where she bravely found her community, a place and a space where she could use her skills to make something meaningful, which makes it home. Please welcome Erika and Rechung.
Thank you. I'm so happy you're here.
How you doing?
Well, making us sound so good.
That was my plan. I want to start at the beginning. How have your families and your background influenced this space, this project?
Yeah, sure. So for me, half black, half Japanese. My mom is interior designer by trade. So I grew up kind of like in this world of space. She ended up creating a retail shop, an art gallery, and then it's evolved into an art school with kilns and wheels and classrooms and a food incubator. So she's doing all this kind of crazy stuff. So I'm around that a lot. And then my father was he's a black man, but Tibetan trained Lama. So he did like 3.5 years in the mountains and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just this kind of crazy confluence of things happening. And then it's like, oh, you know, let's help people. Let's build community. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Erika?
For me, I'm a child of Korean immigrants, and they're very different as well. My dad served the U.S. military. He was in the Army for 20 years, and then the U.S. Post Office for another 20 years. And then who taught me discipline and preservation, and my mom, she I think if she wasn't a full-time mom of 3 kids, she would have been a designer.
Wow.
And she applied that in our homes and encouraged us to do art growing up. And yeah, but both as immigrant parents, they really taught us how to be very resilient and to adapt and really just to, collaborate with community as well. Yeah.
So this business of all that pouring in, right? Like design, meditation,
Sorry, just seeing our
right?
brother.
Exactly. I love that. And then for you, kind of that immigrant story of like grit and resiliency and making it work. And it seems like it's a collaboration, a combination of all of that. That's so cool. We finally started talking about how to visit paradise and respect that it's someone's home. I'm so glad we finally started this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
So important. We're talking about how to move to paradise in healthy ways because, of course, the recent years, there's been an influx of people. If you're going to work remote, why not do it in Hawaii? Lots of people decided, of course, right? Rechung, I'm quoting you when you said, people go to Hawaii to heal, but do not give back. Hawaii is losing so many of its creatives because people cannot afford to live there. They move to Las Vegas. I said Las Vegas. How you go from Hawaii to Vegas? I can't. So this space was in part created to stave that off. Would you speak to that?
Yeah.
That one blows my mind. I just got to say Hawaii to Vegas.
Yeah, like now it's the 9th island, right? So there's so many,
Not
people.
a lot of people know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but it's like it's become a thing. And like coming out here, it's really inspiring, right? A lot of people, when they vacation, they want to like unplug, but coming here to plug in, is great. And I think for people when they want to, move to a different city, to plug in, that's amazing. But
Right.
to have to leave your home because you can't, afford it, and for us, we live on an island, so we're a group of islands, so you can't move to like a suburb or like a next borough over.
Yeah.
It's just ocean, so
Right.
people end up moving over to Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah, among other parts of the world.
among other parts of the world, many great
Because
places.
you mentioned there's like more native Hawaiians outside of Hawaii than actual Hawaii now.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah,
on,
that's
there
a
are
new
more
statistic
native Hawaiians outside of Hawaii
Yeah.
than in Hawaii.
in Hawaii. Yeah, yeah, and that's a pretty
Bizarre, like how is
It's
it
like flip.
Hawaii without Hawaiians?
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I think that there's and it's wild. Like I was talking to my friend from New York the other day, right? And he grew up in Canal Street,
Yeah.
and he's born and raised in Chinatown. He walks like he's from New York. He talks from, he drives like he's from New York,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, yeah, man, like, it's getting expensive. I got to move to Philadelphia. Like I'm really thinking about moving, So I don't think it's just a unique problem to our place or island, island.
Right.
But yeah, it's a situation, and speaking to the other part, it is a healing place, right? Not just the natural beauty, but there's something about the atmosphere or the space that lends to healing. So I think that's a great part, But to just kind of like cling on to that and it's like, all right, peace, I'm gone. Like I feel good
Yeah.
now. Like that always feels a little strange.
Yes.
And it's not everybody, but it happened enough where you see a pattern. You're like, huh, like
Yeah.
this is kind of.
Yeah, and it questions the idea of like place and community,
Yeah.
right? Like it does change the area, the people who live there.
It sure does.
So I think like for me, who's an outsider who moved into Hawaii, I think I recognize the healing property and the energy, and it's beautiful. But I think once I moved there, and I mean even before I moved there, I would visit my friends, and I started to see the reality beyond the paradise. Like this is someone's home, and people are living here, and they're struggling. And you saw the slides earlier, like the contrast between what people see of Hawaii and then what is the reality. And there's just so many, we all felt COVID, right? The pandemic globally. And then each neighborhood, we all deal with different things, but it's still, how do you exist in this world when there's so many issues and problems? And I think the main thing is, it's like the option, I feel like it's not, you should give or not give. I feel like if you're receiving anything, it shouldn't be natural to give back.
Yeah.
How do you even out that balance, right?
Right.
Instead of the culture of take, and I don't know, I feel like we could learn a lot from nature, right? The regenerative process of nature, can we be in this place and leave it the way it was before? Right? And we say, oh, humans are evil, we're polluting everything. But the thing is, we forget that we are part of nature.
Right.
Right? How do we live with nature, and how do we give back to nature and take care of the land that we live in?
And nature is letting us know that we better get it together.
Yeah.
Big time.
Anyways,
time.
I could keep going on and on with that topic, but
I love that.
it's high level.
Each of you who built OurSpace have other jobs. This is kind of blowing my mind that I love that you saw this need to do this and you made it, but you all are working other jobs while you do it.
Yeah.
How do you manage to keep it moving in the right direction? I mean, I know you built it to fill a gap. Would you talk about how it came to exist from the beginning?
Sure. So really it was the idea of a friend of ours named Dio. And he had moved to the islands and was finding his place and finding community. He was actually, at the time he was working, he's a watchmaker and jewelry designer by trade, and he was working out of Fish Cake, which is my mom's place. And we had been in circles together, but never really had a lot of deep conversations. And one day we're playing a game called We're Not Really Strangers. I'm wondering, has anyone played that game?
Anybody
It's this
know?
card game. Yeah, it's
Really
fun.
strangers.
Yeah, it's oh, okay. So it's kind of like a get to know you card game. And a card came out that said, what can we create together? Something to that effect. And so he was like, hey man, let's do a makerspace. And these are the reasons why. And it was really interesting. And then it just started this snowball where, I had space and he wanted to, do this makerspace. So these giant crates of different printers and 3D printers and all this kind of stuff started showing up. I'm like, wow, okay, it's really happening. And that was, the idea was to create, instead of having a makerspace that's inside of a company, have it open to the community and making it specifically into a nonprofit for the community to be able to make.
Yeah, we really intentionally wanted to no one owns the really space, but just the community.
Right.
For me, working somewhere like IDEO, we had our own makerspace, and they have the funds to do it, and I think we just wanted to just really reach out to independent. I heard the term solopreneurs now.
Right.
Independent artists, designers, small business owners. Can we give them access, right? What they would get from a company or corporation, and there's not a lot of that in Hawaii too. So it's a community of a lot of independent creatives. So we're okay, can we create a space for not just a co-working space, but a place to explore, make, experiment. And the creative process is you mentioned earlier, it's a very solitude, lonely process, and you need that because you need to focus. But beyond that, especially after post-pandemic, we all have the need to socialize, connect. I mean, I could see the reason why we're all here. We want to connect.
Yeah.
So for our community, we wanted to create that space.
We were talking a little bit earlier about, I think we're hardwired for connection. And I was talking about how do you, this balance of working remote, working at home, how can you be together be able to say, hey, check this out, should it, should it be read, or, right? Just that business of being able to talk something through with someone, but also at the same time to be able to get your work done, because that's the hardest part. And I think the space you're doing it in has a lot to do with that, probably, right? So that brings me to a challenge of space, which is big everywhere. I mean, it's in the news all over the place, right? Everybody in New York real estate is freaking out. Nobody wants to buy office space anymore. We talk about property values and how much it costs to have space, right? So you all are a makerspace right now without a physical space, but you have a lot of equipment. What's next? How do you?
Yeah, that's what we're working on right now.
Right.
And yeah, so a little context. So basically, we had started space. We did our grand opening.
Yep.
And then, situations changed, and we had to close down the space, which was pretty.
It was a setback.
It was a setback. It was a setback. It was surprising.
Right.
But what it's really letting us do is dial in and build community first. As someone who kind of like my business is making space and filling spaces with co-working and whatnot, to the hardest part, you see a lot of like co-working spaces open, community spaces open, but if there's no community in it, it just looks like hopefully some nice furniture. Sometimes, usually it's not.
Right.
And nothing else in there, no feeling.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're doing now is we're able to get more information and build what we feel the community really needs. And the first time we did it with our first space, it was a good start and a good kind of like taking a stab at it.
Right.
But there's kind of a bunch of learnings that we've had,
Well, I was gonna add, like, you guys, this is really early.
Yeah.
And it's like we're learning by doing.
Yeah.
Like, we're figuring it as we go. We're like when Rechung came up to you, like, hey, we're doing this, you wanna be part of the team? I'm like, what? I've never started a nonprofit before. Like, I'm just a designer. But but as a team, like, with such different backgrounds, we're like, okay, like, it kind of balances each other out. And then again, like, we're like, oh, like, we put a lot of pressure, like, what does the community want? Like, are they gonna be happy? Like, are we fulfilling everyone's needs and all these gaps? But we're like, wait, why don't we just ask them, right? Like, have these conversations, like, talk to them, like, and like co-build. This is we want to co-build. We want to co-create. So as much as we want to help them create, like, have space for that, but we're like, we need your help to build this as well. So it's very like mutual, and we started this creative exchange program through that because we realized, like, people are more generous than we thought.
Yeah.
We're like, this is all volunteer work, but we're like, yeah, we want to help, like, because we don't have this.
Right.
So it's like, it's very hands-on deck, and everyone's been pretty fluid and willing to. We're like, oh, we're willing to trade, and people are down for that. But more than anything, it's like, no, we want to volunteer, even if you don't have that space right now. But we know we want to get there. Let's get there together.
So when you build the right space that the people have asked for, the people themselves will be a part of making sure it keeps going, right? Like, every time I walk into a WeWork, I wonder if they actually asked people what they want rather than, let's just design a space and they'll come, like a field of dreams kind of thing, it felt like.
I don't know. We could ask them.
We should
Are
ask
they still around?
them or not. So we talk a lot about community and all these volunteers and all these people, and there's all this passion, especially in the beginning when you have these conferences, everybody's gung-ho. Talk a bit about the values of those who come to serve and why that works. I talk a lot about, do you come to serve or are you self-serving? It's a really big AIGA fork in the road. Many times people come to serve, and there are others who come to be self-serving, and I'm sure we're not alone in that, right? So what are the values that you all have captured that is making this work?
Well, the slide just passed through. And we have a long list of shared values that drive us. And, but I think the key things that we highlighted was like going back to there's a Hawaiian word, it's kuleana, and it's a word that has many meanings. Like a lot of Hawaiian words have multiple meanings, but ultimately means responsibility, privilege, a right. Like it's a privilege and responsibility to serve our community. Like if you want community, if you're part of a community, then you have to serve. And I think everyone just has that, I don't know, like understood feeling of that. And then with that, it's like, okay, for me as a designer, as you know, we're all trained to like be perfect or be, very detail oriented. I'm learning so much from this process of letting go of perfection and picking progress over perfect.
Yes to that.
Because when they came to me, I'm like, thank you. I'm trying, because letting go is really hard. But when they came into me, like, okay, we're gonna design the logo and the website, and it has to be this way, and and then they're like, we don't have time for that, Erika. Like, we just have to put it out there, and we just have to get, let's just do it and see what it is, and then we'll just continue to iterate. I'm like, no. But yeah, it's just getting out of my own way and hey, no judgment, because it's like we don't judge each other. I'm really trying not to judge myself.
Yeah.
And just hey, let's just move forward. And there's so many unknowns, so a lot of it's embracing uncertainties.
Yeah.
And think like a designer, but also think as a human.
Yeah.
Right? I think we get so brainy and we get so strategic with all the, grateful for my trainings, but I think going back to the heart of who you are.
Sure.
And because we're creating the space to scratch our own itch. We want, there's a lot of, we have a lot of expectations of our government and our leaders.
Yeah.
But we're wait, why do we have to wait around for that? Because it's going to take forever, So we're let's do it now.
Also, they're a little busy. I don't know.
Yeah.
They got a lot.
Yeah, so I'm okay, instead of because part of me, I'm just sick of just talking about, we all know what the problems are, So we're okay, let's try now. Let's test it out.
That's right.
Yeah. I rambled, sorry.
No.
That was awesome.
Yeah, no. With our core team, I think we all value relationship and taking the time to build relationships.
Yes.
Building trust,
working together on things. And for the core team, I know as it grows, people will, want to do things for their own agendas, right? Because it's a tool. They're tools.
Right.
But and that's okay. But with the core team, we deliberately chose people who we feel are givers.
Yes.
Right. So we never have to kind of worry about some side agendas, at least at the moment. And
right.
Life is dynamic.
Time will tell.
Life is dynamic.
Yeah.
But,
I love that you're beginning this story around a conversation of we have a responsibility to community.
Yeah.
And just because you're a giver and just because you believe in service doesn't mean you don't get anything out of it. Our communities are richer, so that's how we win, right? Otherwise, we're all gonna lose, and you get it. That's awesome. Okay, I think that so much is happening in Hawaii, especially right now. So many challenges. I've seen something going on the slides. Community comes together in all the good and sadly sometimes in all the bad ways. We're seeing, as a result of what's going on in Maui, especially charity porn, disaster capitalism, disaster tourism, who are those people flying to see tragedy? Many people want to help. But we all know that all help is not helpful. The fact is we don't know what we don't know, right? So can you talk a bit about how community has come together to help in meaningful ways, and what is effective for Maui? Because a lot of people want to be helpful, but we don't know how.
You want to touch on
Yeah,
the project?
it is a very sensitive topic issue right now, and I think mainly because we're still grieving.
Yeah.
Right? The community is still grieving. It's complex, and as you know, what's happening in the rest of the world, like, it's just hard to wrap your head around a lot of these things. Like it happens. It's all of these are like not new, but it's really jarring and disorienting.
Sure.
And especially when something's happening so far. Like everything feels so far away, but with internet now, right? With social media, like everything's like just in your face as well.
Yes, it is.
So it's just really hard to fathom all of it. And I think for me, thinking about the Maui community or Hawaii community is that it's just a really weird place because people are still grieving, they're all displaced and lost loved ones. And yeah, there's disaster capitalism happening, and people asking them to sell their homes already and raising up rent. And I
It's
think
like that day, it was crazy.
that day,
It's crazy.
I think that's why, and what I know about my time in Hawaii is that it's a very, the love language is service.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we need to do something. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what can we do? Like, can I bring them food? Can I bring something? I want to do something. So everybody's been reactive, but in a very giving way.
Sure.
And I think people are just finding ways to like how to help. And I know there's a lot of organizations, great organizations that's creating these relief efforts. But I think for me, what's been inspiring and what's moving us forward ourselves as well is that people are self-organizing right
Wow.
now, right? I think there's going to be a QR code's going to show up, QR code that's going to show up when my friends started Help Maui Rise. And it just started with these 3 girlfriends. They just started with a Google Doc
Wow.
of families with GoFundMe accounts, Venmo accounts, and instead of relying on governments and big organizations that people wasn't sure to trust or not, they're like, hey, like let's just put it in a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, and just list it out, and people could look into it. And it ended up picking up so much traction because there's so much lack of trust and outside forces that people didn't know what to make of it. That it's like it's for community by community, and that's what people want, and that's been the overall movement that's been happening. So we're stronger, better together.
Everything is better
Yeah.
together. It's
Yeah.
a fact. Everything is better together. I need you all to check out OurSpace. It is an amazing thing to be able to look at the people around you, figure out what's necessary, and just take it on. That's like gangster. Sorry, that's what we say in Brooklyn. It's what people want to be doing. If you want to know more about how we shamefully sometimes show up in Hawaii, we both talked about how we love W. Kamau Bell's United Shades of America. Is a great episode on the trouble of going to Hawaii for peace and taking and not leaving something. And please, if you feel compelled, people have lost their homes, an entire place has been decimated, and I think we have a collective responsibility to be a part of the solution for that. So I so love talking to you all. We've been talking for weeks, and as you can see, we are gonna do much more of this because this is my new family. So thank you, Erika. Thank you, Rechung. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna cry. So not gonna cry.
Oh, phew. Yay.